You're paralyzed by decisions constantly, overthinking every choice until opportunities disappear, unable to decide quickly when speed matters, analyzing endlessly without reaching conclusions, trapped by unlimited options creating decision paralysis, controlled by fear of making wrong choice, preventing you from making any choice, and remaining stuck in perpetual analysis, while decisive people act quickly, building momentum and success that your overthinking makes permanently impossible. This analysis paralysis is systematically destroying your opportunities by ensuring you never act while windows close, destroying your momentum by keeping you stuck in thinking instead of doing, destroying your confidence by proving repeatedly you cannot decide, destroying your competitive advantage by making you slower than decisive competitors, and destroying your potential by guaranteeing that overthinking replaces execution while quick decisive action creates the results that paralysis prevents. Mastering quick decisions is not recklessness or ignoring information, but developing capacity to decide rapidly with sufficient data, not about never thinking, but about not overthinking, past point of diminishing returns, and not mysterious talent, but result of specific frameworks anyone can implement. This audiobook teaches quick decision mastery through the framework for avoiding analysis paralysis, the psychology of decision-making, revealing why unlimited options paralyze, the neuroscience of choice, showing how too much analysis impairs judgment, the practices of rapid high-quality decisions, and the strategies for maintaining decision speed when perfectionism and fear demand endless analysis. Stop being paralyzed by overthinking and start mastering quick decisions. Stop analyzing forever and start acting decisively. Develop decision frameworks. Embrace satisficing over maximizing. Limit options systematically. Set decision deadlines. Trust sufficient information. And master quick decision-making, avoiding analysis paralysis that overthinking guarantees through commitment, starting now. Chapter 1. Understand that analysis paralysis destroys more than wrong decisions. Understanding that analysis paralysis destroys more opportunities than wrong decisions reveals why quick, imperfect action beats slow, perfect planning. The paralysis cost principle demonstrates that overthinking prevents action completely, that wrong decisions can be corrected but non-decisions cannot, that speed of execution matters more than perfection of plan, that paralysis guarantees zero results, while quick decisions enable learning and iteration, and that fear of wrong choice is more costly than actual wrong choice. Most people are paralyzed by decision-making through believing more analysis always improves decisions, fearing wrong choices more than non-choices, not recognizing diminishing returns of additional analysis, seeking perfect information that never comes, and remaining stuck in perpetual evaluation. Paralysis guarantees failure. Quick, imperfect action enables success. Decide rapidly or lose everything. Research on decision-making demonstrates that analysis paralysis causes more failure than bad decisions. That speed of decision-making predicts success across domains. That quick decisions followed by adjustments beat slow, perfect planning. That excessive analysis actually impairs decision quality, and that decisiveness is learnable skill, not fixed trait. The paralysis manifestations include career opportunities disappearing while you overthink, business ideas becoming irrelevant during planning, relationships ending before you decide to commit, investments missing optimal entry while you research endlessly, and life passing while you analyze instead of living. The non-decision cost shows opportunities lost forever through inaction, momentum never built because you never start, confidence eroded by proving inability to decide, competitive advantage lost to faster actors, and potential unrealized because overthinking replaced doing. The wrong decision recovery means most decisions are reversible or adjustable, that wrong choices provide learning and iteration, that quick decisions enable rapid correction, that acting reveals information analysis cannot provide, and that course correction is easier than overcoming inertia. The diminishing returns reality demonstrates that first 20% of analysis provides 80% of useful information, that additional analysis beyond sufficient threshold adds minimal value, that perfectionism in decision-making is impossibility, not virtue, that good enough decided quickly beats perfect decided never, and that recognizing diminishing returns enables action. The opportunity cost calculation involves quantifying what delay costs in real terms, understanding that waiting has price, recognizing that every day of analysis is day of lost action, calculating compound cost of paralysis over time, and treating delay as expensive, not free. The action bias principle shows that bias toward action beats bias toward analysis, that doing provides information thinking cannot, that momentum builds through sequential decisions, that velocity matters more than initial direction, and that quick iteration beats slow perfection. The implementation requires accepting that paralysis is more costly than imperfection, calculating real cost of delayed decisions, recognizing that most choices are reversible, understanding that action provides information, analysis cannot, treating quick, imperfect decisions as superior to slow, perfect planning, and viewing decisiveness as essential competitive advantage. Paralysis guarantees failure. Quick, imperfect action enables success. Decide rapidly or lose everything. You understand now that analysis paralysis destroys more than wrong decisions, that speed matters more than perfection in most choices, that overthinking prevents all results, that quick action enables learning and iteration, and that Chapter 1 creates foundation by revealing true cost of paralysis, making decisive action possible where overthinking made progress impossible. Chapter 2. Recognize paradox of choice-making, unlimited options. Paralyzing. Recognizing that paradox of choice makes unlimited options, paralyzing rather than liberating, reveals why limiting choices enables better, faster decisions. The choice paradox demonstrates that more options increase difficulty of deciding, that unlimited choice creates analysis paralysis, that excess options reduce satisfaction with final choice, that decision quality decreases as options increase beyond threshold, and that limiting options paradoxically increases decision speed and satisfaction. Most people are paralyzed by too many options through believing more choices always improve outcomes, unable to decide when faced with excessive options, experiencing anxiety from unlimited possibilities, seeking to evaluate every option exhaustively, and not recognizing that abundance of choice impairs rather than improves decisions. Unlimited options create paralysis. Limited choices enable decisions, constrain options, or stay stuck. Research by Barry Schwartz demonstrates that excess choice causes paralysis, not empowerment. That people are less satisfied with decisions when options are unlimited. That optimal number of choices is limited, not infinite. That reducing options improves decision speed and satisfaction. And that recognizing paradox enables deliberate option limitation. The overwhelm mechanism shows evaluating many options exhausts cognitive resources, that comparing excessive alternatives creates confusion, that fear of missing best option prevents choosing any option, that unlimited possibilities make satisfactory choice feel inadequate, and that abundance of choice activates perfectionism, preventing action. The option limitation benefits include faster decisions with fewer choices, higher satisfaction with limited options, reduced anxiety during decision process, better outcomes from focused evaluation, and increased action rather than endless deliberation. The artificial constraint strategy means deliberately limiting options to manageable number, eliminating choices that don't meet minimum criteria quickly, focusing evaluation on top candidates only, using constraints to prevent overwhelm, and treating limitation as enabler, not restrictor. The 3 to 5 rule shows limiting major decisions to 3 to 5 serious options, eliminating all other possibilities immediately, evaluating only viable candidates thoroughly, using small number for speed and quality, and recognizing that few good options beat many mediocre ones. The elimination process involves establishing knockout criteria up front, immediately rejecting options failing requirements, using sequential filters, reducing options progressively, being ruthless in early elimination, arriving at manageable final set quickly, and treating elimination as essential, not optional. The choice architecture means designing decision environment, limiting options, removing alternatives before evaluation begins, using defaults and recommendations, reducing choices, creating structure, preventing overwhelm, and engineering decisions for speed and satisfaction. The implementation requires recognizing when too many options cause paralysis, deliberately limiting choices to 3 to 5 maximum, using elimination criteria aggressively, focusing evaluation on top candidates only, accepting that good decision from limited options beats perfect decision never made, and treating option limitation as decision-making tool, enabling speed and quality. Unlimited options create paralysis. Limited choices enable decisions. Constrain options or stay stuck. You understand now that excess choice impairs rather than improves decisions, that paradox of choice causes paralysis through overwhelm, that deliberately limiting options enables better, faster choices, that 3 to 5 alternatives is optimal range, and that Chapter 2 reveals how artificial constraints make decisive action possible where unlimited options made paralysis inevitable. Chapter 3. Embrace satisficing strategy, choosing good enough instead of perfect. Embracing satisficing strategy by choosing good enough option instead of perfect one enables quick decisions, avoiding paralysis of perfectionism. The satisficing principle demonstrates that satisficing means selecting first option meeting criteria rather than searching for optimal. That good enough decided quickly beats perfect decided slowly. That perfectionism in decision-making is form of paralysis. That most decisions don't require optimization, and that satisficing enables speed, maintaining acceptable quality. Most people remain paralyzed through seeking perfect option that doesn't exist, unable to accept good enough solutions, comparing endlessly, trying to find best, not recognizing diminishing returns of optimization, and believing every decision requires maximum effort. Perfectionism creates paralysis. Good enough enables action, satisfies quickly, or perfect never. Research by Herbert Simon demonstrates that satisficing is rational decision strategy, not settling. That maximizing attempts often reduce satisfaction. That perfect is enemy of good in decision-making. That satisficing enables action, while maximizing causes paralysis. And that successful people satisfice on most decisions. The satisficing versus maximizing distinction shows maximizers seek optimal choice through exhaustive search. That satisficers select first adequate option, that maximizing causes paralysis and dissatisfaction, that satisficing enables speed and contentment, and that most decisions benefit from satisficing, not maximizing. The criteria establishment means defining minimum acceptable standards before evaluating, accepting first option, meeting criteria, stopping search when good enough is found, not continuing analysis after adequate solution appears, and treating criteria satisfaction as sufficient for decision. The 80-20 application shows most decisions need 80% solution, not 100%. That additional 20% requires disproportionate effort. That good enough quickly beats perfect eventually. That recognizing when 80% is sufficient matters. And that applying appropriate effort to decision importance prevents waste. The decision categorization involves identifying truly important decisions requiring optimization, recognizing that most decisions are reversible and don't need perfection, applying satisficing to routine and moderate decisions, reserving maximizing effort for rare critical choices, and treating decision importance appropriately. The perfectionism cost includes endless deliberation preventing action, dissatisfaction even when optimal found, anxiety from constant comparison, missed opportunities during search, and lower overall happiness from maximizing approach. The satisficing benefits show faster decisions, maintaining quality, higher satisfaction with chosen options, reduced anxiety and stress, more decisions made and opportunities captured, and greater overall well-being from acceptance. The implementation requires establishing clear minimum criteria before evaluating options, accepting first option meeting standards, stopping analysis when good enough appears, recognizing diminishing returns of continued search, applying satisficing to most decisions, and reserving optimization for truly critical choices only. Perfectionism creates paralysis. Good enough enables action. Satisfies quickly or perfect, never. You understand, now that satisficing is rational, not settling. That good enough decided quickly beats perfect, decided slowly. That perfectionism in decision-making causes paralysis. That most decisions benefit from satisficing approach. And that Chapter 3 reveals how embracing good enough makes decisive action possible where perfectionism made endless search inevitable. Chapter 4. Use decision frameworks, eliminating need for analysis each time. Using decision frameworks and protocols eliminates need for fresh analysis each time, enabling quick, consistent decisions. The framework principle demonstrates that predetermined decision rules enable rapid choices. That frameworks remove emotional deliberation from process. That systematic protocols prevent analysis paralysis. That pre-established criteria make decisions automatic. And that frameworks enable delegation and scaling of decisions. Most people lack decision frameworks through treating every choice as requiring fresh analysis, not establishing decision protocols in advance, making emotional rather than systematic decisions, reinventing decision process each time, and lacking predetermined criteria and rules. Fresh analysis every time creates paralysis. Decision frameworks enable speed. Use systems or overthink constantly. Research on decision systems demonstrates that frameworks dramatically increase decision speed, that systematic protocols improve decision consistency, that predetermined rules reduce cognitive load, that decision frameworks enable quick action, and that successful people use frameworks extensively. The framework categories include if-then decision rules for common situations, elimination criteria for rapid filtering, weighted scoring systems for complex choices, decision trees for sequential evaluation, and heuristics for fast approximate decisions. The if-then protocol means establishing if this condition then this action rules, creating automatic responses to common situations, removing deliberation from routine decisions, programming decisions in advance, and treating if-then rules as binding. The elimination criteria framework involves establishing non-negotiable requirements, immediately rejecting options failing criteria, using knockout factors for rapid filtering, reducing options to viable few quickly, and making yes-no decisions simple and fast. The weighted scoring system shows assigning importance weights to decision factors, scoring options on each criterion, calculating total scores systematically, letting numbers guide decision, and removing emotion from complex choices. The decision tree application means mapping decisions as sequential branches, following logical path based on answers, letting structure guide to conclusion, using visual framework for clarity, and treating complex decisions systematically. The heuristic development involves creating simple rules for common decisions, using mental shortcuts appropriately, developing experience-based guidelines, applying quick approximations where exact is unnecessary, and trusting efficient decision rules. The framework documentation requires writing decision protocols explicitly, creating checklists for complex choices, establishing standard operating procedures, making frameworks accessible and usable, and refining systems based on outcomes. The implementation requires identifying recurring decision types, creating specific frameworks for each, establishing clear criteria and rules. Documenting, decision protocols, using frameworks consistently, and refining based on outcomes. Fresh analysis every time creates paralysis. Decision frameworks enable speed. Use systems or overthink constantly. You understand now that frameworks eliminate need for fresh analysis each time, that predetermined protocols enable rapid, consistent decisions, that systematic approaches prevent emotional overthinking, that successful people use decision systems extensively, and that Chapter 4 reveals how established frameworks make quick decisions possible, where reinventing process each time made paralysis inevitable. Chapter 5. Set strict decision deadlines, forcing action despite incomplete information. Setting strict decision deadlines forces action despite incomplete information, preventing endless analysis. The deadline principle demonstrates that time constraints force decision, that deadlines prevent perfectionism paralysis, that limited time focuses evaluation on essentials, that artificial urgency enables action, and that constraints improve rather than impair decisions. Most people avoid decision deadlines through allowing unlimited time for analysis, not setting artificial constraints, believing more time always improves decisions, postponing decisions indefinitely, and lacking urgency forcing action. Unlimited time creates endless analysis. Strict deadlines force decisions, set limits, or analyze forever. Research on time constraints demonstrates that deadlines improve decision quality by preventing overthinking, that time pressure forces focus on important factors, that artificial urgency enables decisive action, that unlimited time encourages paralysis, and that successful people set aggressive decision deadlines. The deadline setting strategy means establishing specific time limit before evaluating, committing to decide by deadline regardless, making deadline public for accountability, treating deadline as absolute, not flexible, and using time constraint to prevent overthinking. The information sufficiency principle shows most decisions need sufficient, not perfect information, that 70% information is usually adequate, that diminishing returns apply to information gathering, that recognizing when enough is enough matters, and that acting on sufficient data beats waiting for complete. The forcing function effect means deadlines create pressure-forcing choice, that time limits prevent endless deliberation, that urgency focuses mind on decision, that constraints eliminate analysis paralysis, and that artificial pressure enables action. The progressive deadline technique involves setting initial deadline for decision, gathering information with time limit, setting second shorter deadline if needed, never allowing open-ended analysis, and using progressive constraints to force action. The Parkinson's law application shows work expands to fill time available, that analysis will continue as long as allowed, that limiting time forces efficiency, that tight deadlines prevent gold plating, and that constraints create better outcomes. The public commitment means announcing decision deadline to others, creating social accountability for deciding, using external pressure as tool, making backing out embarrassing, and leveraging commitment device. The implementation requires establishing decision deadline before beginning analysis, making deadline commitment public, gathering information with time limit, forcing decision at deadline regardless of perceived readiness, accepting that sufficient beats perfect, and using deadlines systematically for all significant decisions. Unlimited time creates endless analysis. Strict deadlines force decisions, set limits, or analyze forever. You understand now that time constraints force action, preventing paralysis, that deadlines improve, rather than impair decision quality, that artificial urgency enables decisive action, that sufficient information decided quickly beats perfect information decided slowly, and that Chapter 5 reveals how strict time limits make rapid decisions possible where unlimited time made endless analysis inevitable. Chapter 6. Trust your intuition, using unconscious processing for quick decisions. Trusting your intuition by leveraging unconscious processing enables quick decisions when analysis would cause paralysis. The intuition principle demonstrates that unconscious mind processes vast information rapidly, that gut feelings often superior to deliberate analysis, that intuition improves with experience and domain knowledge, that overthinking can impair rather than improve decisions, and that trusting intuition enables speed, maintaining quality. Most people ignore intuition through believing only conscious analysis produces good decisions, discounting gut feelings as irrational, not recognizing value of unconscious processing, overthinking past point where intuition is superior, and lacking trust in non-analytical knowing. Overthinking impairs intuition, trusting gut enables speed. Use unconscious processing or analyze endlessly. Research on intuition demonstrates that expert intuition is rapid pattern recognition, that unconscious processing handles complexity conscious mind cannot, that gut feelings incorporate vast experience, that deliberate analysis sometimes impairs decision quality, and that successful people trust intuition extensively. The intuition development means building domain expertise, enabling pattern recognition, exposing yourself to many examples, paying attention to gut feelings, validating intuition against outcomes, and recognizing when intuition is reliable. The analysis versus intuition distinction shows simple decisions with clear information benefit from analysis, that complex decisions with uncertain information benefit from intuition, that time pressure favors intuitive decisions, that novel situations require more analysis while familiar ones enable intuition, and that recognizing which approach fits situation matters. The intuition application involves making quick decision based on gut feeling, noticing when analysis creates confusion rather than clarity, trusting pattern recognition from experience, acting on intuition when prolonged analysis provides no additional insight, and recognizing that feeling is information. The overthinking danger means excessive analysis can impair decision quality, that conscious deliberation cannot handle full complexity, that overthinking introduces doubt, undermining intuition, that analysis paralysis prevents trusting gut, and that recognizing when to stop thinking and trust feeling enables action. The expert intuition shows domain expertise enables accurate gut feelings, that pattern recognition from experience is rapid and reliable, that experts can make complex decisions quickly, that intuition improves with deliberate practice, and that trusting developed intuition is rational. The intuition validation involves tracking gut feeling accuracy over time, correlating intuitive decisions with outcomes, identifying domains where intuition is reliable, recognizing when intuition works and when analysis is better, and building confidence through validation. The implementation requires developing expertise in decision domains, practicing attention to intuitive signals, validating gut feelings against outcomes, recognizing when analysis helps versus harms, and trusting intuition for quick decisions when appropriate. Overthinking impairs intuition. Trusting gut enables speed. Use unconscious processing or analyze endlessly. You understand now that intuition is rapid pattern recognition from experience. That unconscious mind processes complexity conscious cannot. That overthinking impairs rather than improves some decisions. That trusting developed intuition enables quick action. And that Chapter 6 reveals how leveraging unconscious processing makes rapid decisions possible where excessive analysis made paralysis inevitable. Chapter 7. Accept that most decisions are reversible, making speed more important. Accepting that most decisions are reversible makes speed more important than perfection, enabling quick action. The reversibility principle demonstrates that majority of decisions can be changed if wrong, that reversible decisions should be made quickly, that irreversible decisions deserve more analysis, that treating reversible as irreversible causes paralysis, and that recognizing reversibility enables speed. Most people overthink reversible decisions through treating every choice as permanent, not distinguishing reversible from irreversible, fearing consequences of changeable decisions, seeking perfection for easily corrected choices, and lacking framework for decision categorization. Treating reversible as irreversible creates paralysis. Speed on changeable decisions enables success. Decide quickly or waste opportunity. Research on decision types demonstrates that most business and life decisions are reversible, that irreversible decisions are rare and identifiable, that speed on reversible decisions creates competitive advantage, that perfectionism on reversible choices wastes resources, and that successful people move fast on reversible decisions. The reversibility categorization means identifying truly irreversible decisions requiring care, recognizing that most decisions are changeable, distinguishing permanent from temporary choices, applying appropriate effort to each category, and moving quickly on reversible decisions. The two-way door principle shows one-way doors are irreversible and need careful consideration. That two-way doors are reversible and should be decided quickly. That most decisions are two-way doors. That treating two-way like one-way causes paralysis. And that using door metaphor for categorization enables speed. The course correction approach involves making quick decision on reversible choices, monitoring outcomes closely, correcting rapidly if decision proves wrong, iterating toward better solution, and treating decisions as experiments when reversible. The committed flexibility means deciding quickly but remaining open to change, monitoring for need to reverse, correcting decisively when needed, not being attached to maintaining wrong decisions, and treating reversibility as asset, not weakness. The irreversible examples include permanent body modifications, selling irreplaceable assets, burning bridges in relationships, making babies or major life commitments, and few truly permanent choices requiring extensive analysis. The reversible examples show most career moves are reversible, that business decisions can be changed, that purchases can be returned or resold, that relationships can be adjusted, and that vast majority of choices are changeable. The speed advantage demonstrates that moving fast on reversible decisions creates momentum, that quick action provides learning, that iteration beats planning for changeable choices, that velocity compounds into advantage, and that hesitation on reversible decisions wastes opportunity. The implementation requires categorizing decisions as reversible or irreversible before analysis, moving very quickly on reversible decisions, accepting that wrong but correctable beats paralyzed, monitoring outcomes for needed corrections, and using reversibility to enable speed and learning. Treating reversible as irreversible creates paralysis. Speed on changeable decisions enables success. Decide quickly or waste opportunity. You understand now that most decisions are reversible, not permanent, that changeable choices should be made quickly, that treating reversible as irreversible causes wasteful paralysis, that speed on reversible decisions creates competitive advantage, and that Chapter 7 completes framework revealing how recognizing reversibility makes rapid decisive action possible, where treating everything as permanent made paralysis inevitable. You have learned how to master quick decisions and avoid analysis paralysis, Analysis paralysis destroys more than wrong decisions. Unlimited options create paralysis through paradox of choice. Satisficing strategy enables action, while perfectionism causes paralysis. Decision frameworks eliminate need for fresh analysis. Strict deadlines force action despite incomplete information. Trusting intuition leverages unconscious processing. Most decisions are reversible, making speed paramount. What matters now is implementing these strategies starting immediately. 5. Implementation priorities starting today. Calculate real cost of delayed decisions. Limit major choices to 3 to 5 options. Establish satisficing criteria, accepting good enough. Create decision frameworks for recurring choices. Set aggressive deadlines, forcing action. Execute these practices consistently. Build decision speed progressively and master quick decision-making. Stop being paralyzed by overthinking and start mastering quick decisions. Stop analyzing forever and start acting decisively. Develop decision frameworks. Embrace satisficing over maximizing. Limit options systematically. Set decision deadlines. Trust sufficient information and master quick decision-making, avoiding analysis paralysis that overthinking guarantees through commitment, starting now.